You living in the future. What's the lottery numbers? Well, the thing about here's the thing about that sort of stuff when people talk about getting lottery numbers or winning bets and stuff like that and going back in time, is that I'm not sure that would actually work, because if you was to go into the future, so let's say you was going to the future and then come back with like the winning lottery numbers, what's to say that the fact that you went into the future causes a chain of events that means the lottery numbers are completely different? You know what I mean? Like maybe certain things are just inevitable that you just can't change them. Like if you're going to be poor for a certain amount of time, then it's just how it is. There's certain things you just can't change. So I'm not sure like lottery numbers and that whole thing is something that would actually work, because it's like, I mean, time travel is all theoretical, of course, but still, I mean, I watch quite a lot of sci-fi movies and time travel movies and books, and read a lot of books and stuff like that, and whatever. So I feel like I've got some kind of knowledge on time travel to a reasonable extent. So yeah, I'm not sure it'd be as simple as going back in time or going to the future and bringing back some lottery numbers and then everything's going to be fine. I think just by the very facts that you go into the future, you've changed something, on a small level, that sets up a chain of events that maybe by the time you get back, the lottery numbers are completely different, or maybe the lottery doesn't even exist anymore because it's just changed so much. Because you had no effects on time yet. Well, that's the thing. People think they have no effects if you just go into the future, but here's the thing. The fact that if you can go into the future, that means the future has happened. So there is no future. It's all past, right? The fact that you can travel to something means it's already existing. You can't travel to something that doesn't actually exist, right? So if you can go there, it means it already exists. It's already happened. So that means what you go into is not the future. It's the past. It's just it hasn't happened to you yet, but it is actually a past in the grand scheme of things. So if you're able to go into the future, that means you're able to do something that hadn't actually been done yet before you've actually done it, right? So you are affecting things, even if you don't actually do anything. Like even if you literally just stand in a field, see nobody sees you, just the very fact that your presence is in a place that it wasn't supposed to be changes things, right? Everything has changed, even though you don't do anything significant, even if you don't talk to anybody, even if nobody sees you, even if you don't, nothing happens, you don't touch anything. Well, just you're standing on grass, or you're standing on a hay, or maybe an ant has to go in a different direction now because you're standing there, and that leads to something, that leads to something, that leads to something, that leads to something. Little tiny insignificant things, by the very facts that you were in a place that you wasn't there before, right? Even though it hasn't happened yet, you've changed things. So now if the future has already happened and you've changed the future as the past, and the past of the past has already changed. So everything changes based on just the fact that you go into something that you wasn't there to begin with. So yeah, it's a complicated thing about time traveling. Like it's dangerous, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Time travel, if real, will work by the butterfly effect. Small things can turn into big things. However, if you did not do anything, nothing can happen. If you don't throw a stone, there's no ripple. That's the thing. Just you being there is doing something. Even if you literally just stand there, go nowhere, go there and come back, that's you doing something. That's what I mean. It's something. You're there. So it's even if you don't wave, you don't do anything, even if you don't breathe, you being there is something. It might be an insignificant something, but it's a something. And as you said, just the something changes something else, that changes something else, that changes something. So it causes a change. It's the grass is different now. The atmosphere is slightly different now. The air is slightly different now. Every tiny little things, just you being there, even if you don't do anything, don't see anybody, don't touch anything, don't move, just you being there is a something. If time travel happened, nobody can die. Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, if you can see your own death, right, and you try to prevent it, what effectively happens is that you don't necessarily prevent it. You just change the reasons of how it happens. So if you are going to die, you're going to die. You might, for example, see that, okay, if you went outside and you got hit by a bus, so let's say like you go back and you go and tell me, you warn yourself to like stay indoors, because if you go outside you get hit by a bus, so you stay indoors. You might change the circumstances of how you die, but you don't necessarily change the fact that you die. You just moved it into something else that happens that you can't see, that you didn't see coming, because you only saw one possible future. Death is inevitable. You can't outrun that, man. You can't outrun that. Well, the future did not happen. You are simply accelerating time, or go into an alternate dimension where things you want happens. Well, ultimate dimension is not time travel. That's just going along the side. If you're talking about going to the future, the fact that you can go to the future means it has to have already happened, because you can't go to something that isn't there yet. You cannot travel to somewhere that doesn't exist. There's nothing there, right? So for it to for you to be able to travel to the future has to already be there, which means it has already happened. It's like you can't go outside if there's no outside. You know, you can't go to a park if there's no park. You know, you can only go to places if that place exists. If it exists, it's already happened. It's already there. Because if you can time travel, you yourself still age, others still age, and that's that. Yeah, you still age. You're still getting older. You can't change that. Also, time travel will only probably be only backwards. Not necessarily. I think time travel is possible actually. I think we're a long way off of doing it, but I do think it's possible. If you consider the fact that time is controlled by gravity, I don't know if you know that, but if you don't, now you do. Time is actually controlled by gravity, which means time, the stronger the gravitational pull, the faster time moves. And the weaker the gravitational pull, the slower time moves. However, time is relative, which means you standing in a place with a strong gravitational pull, you don't necessarily notice the difference because it's, to you, your perception is the same. So what that means is that if you look at the gravitational pull around the Earth, it's actually not constant. Like it changes. I believe it's weaker to the equator, I think, or something like that. I'm not sure exactly. It might be stronger, or one of them anyway. But anyway, the point is gravitational pull actually changes in various points throughout the Earth. So some parts are a little bit weaker, some parts a little bit stronger. Now it's all roughly about 9.8. Was it? I can't remember the metric, but it's all 9.8, whatever they measure it in. Roughly about that. So we're not talking massive amounts of differences in gravitational pull on the Earth, but it is slight differences, which means time is actually moving ever so slightly differently in different parts of the world. So there's parts where you might age like a tiny little bit slower and a tiny little bit faster, you know, but because it's all relative, you don't know the difference. You don't experience the difference. You don't think it's slow when you're there because it's all relative to what you're experiencing at the time, at the place that you are in. Yeah, we just spoken about time travel. How about that? Start a live stream talking about time travel. Time travel happens to be one of my favorite things, by the way. Just in terms of like for movies and games, and well, not so much games, I suppose, a little bit, but mainly movies and stuff, and some books that I've read on time travel. So yeah, I'm quite fascinated by the concept of time travel, and a lot of poems that I written have involved time travel. So yeah, it's something that I've considered. Of course, it's all theory. I mean, I'm just talking about from what I could understand of how it could work. Of course, how it actually works, if it does even work, waits to be seen. Whether anything changes anything, or whether it's all just inevitable, we'll have to wait and see. But I do honestly believe time travel could be possible. I just don't think we're anywhere near doing it yet. And who knows? Maybe we'll never get there. You know, maybe we won't. But I do think somehow, some way, it is possible.